What is up YouTube? This is AVAULT here, back in today with you guys another new Speed Duel deck profile. And so for you guys who've seen the latest Speed Duel match of the Kairyu-Shin Daedalus Terror from the Deep deck versus the Ectoplasmic Zombies Turbo deck, really epic duel. Highly recommend you guys to check that video out right now before you guys see this deck profile, or vice versa. Watch that video for sure. Really epic duel right there, which is really cool. And here is, as I promised, the deck profile is right here with a full deck profile. And before we head right into it, as usual, we're gonna do our card sleeve review right here. Today we're using the monster that came out in Yu-Gi-Oh Zao or Zexo, the Link monster that was like number 37, oh no, number 17, Leviathan's Sea Dragon, I believe. Can't remember its full name, but really cool sleeve to definitely match with our Kairyu-Shin Water, Leviathan, Sea Serpent deck profile today. And quick shout out, just so you guys know, if you guys are interested in some of the sleeves that I used and where I purchased my artwork OCG sleeves, be sure to check out the AVAULT eBay store in the description down below. We ship internationally, so be sure to take advantage of that. Really cool sleeves. And yeah, highly recommend you guys to check it out and support the channel by purchasing some of them if you guys are interested. Be sure to get them as well. Very limited quantities. Anyways, let's go into the deck profile as I promised. We are playing a Mako Tsunami skill. Flip the skill when you activate the skill. Flip this card over when you use the skill. Really cool. And of course, it's the Terror from the Deep. We got the ultra rare version from the Trials of the Kingdom sneak peek event. If you guys participate in that event, you guys would know that you get this in ultra rare. Really neat card. For you guys who don't know what this card does or what the skill does, you basically activate the skill during your main phase while you control Kairyu-Shin. When the skill is activated, you can actually activate Umi directly from your hand, deck, or graveyard, which is absolutely insane and incredibly powerful. Really good. You can basically activate Umi from anywhere except from Banish. That's the only exception. But with this, it has made Umi highly accessible, really sought after to play Umi along with this 100%. You have to. Umi's a great field spell which combos with this whole deck overall. Runs essentially in it. Second juicy effect is while you control Kairyu-Shin, all water monsters you control are unaffected by trap effects, which is really cool, really powerful as well, because that means kunais are useless, windstorms are useless, or even forceful checkpoints, I believe. You know, many trap cards can't be used against this deck, which is really good. However, I would say the one downside of this deck, or tough matchup against this deck will definitely be Floodgates. Floodgates is an absolutely powerful trap card currently in the meta. A lot of people do play it as well, but there are some outages where you can simply tribute your Kairyu-Shin to summon another Kairyu-Shin, or along with another monster to summon a Daedalus or something like that to get your Kairyu-Shin off, so it's not completely useless. However, it will be unfortunate because when you summon Kairyu-Shin, if they use Floodgate, you won't be able to use Terror from the Deep, which is actually unfortunate right there. Unlucky, but you know, still a really good skill to have. Oh yes, sorry. One last part is also if Kairyu-Shin you control leaves the field, draw 2 cards. As you guys can see from the match duel or have seen, this skill is not once per turn. We can abuse it as much as we can. Extremely powerful. So just so you guys know, this is a 21 card main deck. I personally, you have to play at least 21 cards because there's so much draw power in this deck as well, especially from the skill. I even recommend 23 and 24 if you guys want to. So if you guys are, yeah, comment down below on what other cards you guys might want to add. But I play 21, which has worked out really well. Usually you do game, finish the game before you draw out, and getting into your resources is highly important. So of course, let's move into it without taking too much time. 3 Kairyu-Shins, essential for the skill whatsoever. We have to play for 3. We want to bring it out as soon as possible. No excuses. Fastest way. Next, we are also playing 3 Daedaluses. This is also another really powerful card. I might think of doing down to 2. 3 might be a bit too much, but at the same time, 3 has worked out very well so far, honestly, because you want to see this card as well as soon as possible. You want to be able to bring it out as fast and as quick as possible as well, so you can start nuking your opponent. This has really helped elevated the whole Daedalus deck overall in this current meta. I really like it. However, I will be honest as well, I really feel like there should be some more extra cards that would really help this deck currently to make this deck even more powerful, because really we were playtesting and it's very tough against many matchups and other decks, honestly, as well. But this is the best build I can come up with for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy. Play test it for yourself, optimize it together. Comment down below what other cards you guys would also like. Anyways, 3 slushies. We have to play slushies no matter what, because slushies are basically, you know, pitching them to the grave. We can basically bring back our Kairyu-Shins or our Daedalus to basically form like an almost like an infinite combo. I wouldn't say it's infinite. It's not infinite, honestly, but it can form a really great chain combo over and over and over again between Kairyu-Shin and Daedalus and all that. Really neat. You guys, once again, watch that speed duel, match duel to learn more about how to play it properly as well. Here we're gonna have 3 high tide Gyojins. You know, we still need standard level 4 monsters that we can summon reliably to attack and protect and do all those other things, you know, normally. And then last but not least, we are playing 2 Sphere Kuribohs. I mentioned in the match duel why I do prefer Sphere Kuribohs over Windstorms. We can't play Kunais in this deck because simply of the skill. Terror from the Deep stops our own Kunais as well. And even worse is like we can't equip our Kunais, so there's no point. If you guys want to play an alternative, Windstorm is also a good alternative to have, but Windstorms are susceptible to Dust Tornadoes and Night Beams, so I overall just prefer Sphere Kuriboh because it's much more viable and I know playable, and it doesn't get destroyed from the hand. So that rounds up for the monsters right here. We're gonna move into the spells right now. So one Umi is all you need because of our skill. We can keep bringing Umi back again and again and again. It's almost like it's infinite resource right there, so it's really good. The only downside is if Umi gets banished, which really doesn't happen in Speed Duel ever. I don't know if there's a card that actually banishes spells or anything like that, but yeah, 1 is all you need. Next, we are playing Big Wave Small Wave. Big Wave Small Wave is the great way to help us bring out our Kairyu-Shins and our Daedalus when in need, and that's how we want to bring it out. But with just 3 Big Wave Small Waves, it's not enough. We need something more as well. We want, as I mentioned, Kairyu-Shin has to be on the field as quickly as possible. So another really cool card we do play in this deck is Cost Down. 3 of those as well. So basically with 6 cards to help bring out Kairyu-Shin, we're actually in a very good position in most cases. Once again, you guys seen in the Speed Duel match right there, we were able to consistently bring out Kairyu-Shin over and over again. That's your top priority no matter what. That is usually your deck core, how it's supposed to be played right there. So with Cost Down, it's really good as well because it allows us to pitch Daedalus from our hand to the grave, or Slushy from our hand to the grave, so that we can actually set up our graveyard for the Slushy to special summon our Daedaluses or even Kairyu-Shins overall, which is really neat. So 7 spell cards, 14 monsters, that's it. No traps whatsoever. Like I mentioned, Kunai doesn't really help us as much. We can play some Floodgates if you guys prefer Floodgates as well, other than the Sphere. That's also a good alternative, but I have mentioned Night Beams and Dust Tornadoes are still around-ish in this current meta, especially in Game 1, so that's why I don't play Floodgates. But Floodgates is actually a good alternative to Sphere, but once again, Kunai doesn't help us at all. So that's the 21 card main deck. That is it. And we're going to move into our side deck. So for our side deck, which we didn't really get to use in our Speed Duel match, honestly, because there wasn't really a good card that we could have. But, you know, standard procedure to have in your deck anyways, just in case, depending on the matchup that you play against, and depending on the meta on your locals or your local tournaments that are happening, you know, you would side deck accordingly. So first of all, I would play 1 Sealing Ceremony of Sueton, which is quite neat as well. You can basically send water monsters from your hand to the graveyard, once again Slushies and Daedaluses to set up, and you can banish monsters from your opponent's grave, which is really neat. Basically, you know, very good combo, I mean, not combo, but like a counter against zombie decks who play lots of Book of Life, Haunted Shrines, and such. So banishing monsters from their grave really helps. Eradicating Aerosol, of course, you know, just in case there's insect monsters. Parasite, Paranoid decks are really powerful as well. Warrior Limb, Gearfried has been quite popular lately as well because of the new set, Gearfried. This monster itself is also very powerful. Strongest, highest attack monster in the current game just by normal summon. You know, there are some Amazon's Warriors as well, so this is definitely also a good card to side. One blast held by a tribute, of course, because since a lot of people play Floodgates in the current meta, a lot of people will have at least 1 or 2 tribute monsters in their deck to overcome the Floodgates, because Floodgates essentially makes a monster useless. So blast held by a tribute is a really great counter to that as well. And then one Dust Tornado right here. Dust Tornado, you know, of course, for any deck that plays essentially based off field spells, or really powerful spell or traps that really are really annoying that you just have to get rid of, so one off is also really neat. And then last but not least, one Waking the Dragon overall, because we do play an extra deck as well, and I'm very sure most of you guys know what the cards are in the extra deck, so I'm not going to go too much in detail right here. As always, just one Blue Eyes, 2 Arcana Knight Jokers, 1 Meteor B, Ryu Senshi, and Alligator Sword Dragon right here, just to give you different options in different scenarios. If you're playing against a deck or against an opponent that has lots of back row removal, you know, playing Waking the Dragon is actually a good card to have just in case, so then you can bring out these really powerful monsters in different situations to fit your situations accordingly against your opponent. So overall, that's the whole deck. And as I mentioned before, this deck is actually quite viable. It's very fast, very consistent, and keep bringing out Kairyu-Shin and Daedalus. And as you guys probably seen from the video as well, there's an OTK potential in this deck to wipe off your opponent's field. So this deck, if you guys want to learn how to play this deck properly, be sure to watch that Speed Duel Match Duel video, which has been posted already a few days ago. So be sure to watch that, so to learn how to play the combos right carefully. This does require a little bit of thinking properly, so really important that you guys learn the combos of this core deck. That basically rounds up the entire deck profile. What do you guys think? If you guys enjoyed the deck profile, be sure to hit that like button. Definitely comment down below on what other cards you guys would add or maybe take out. Provide your suggestions. Really appreciate your help and support. If you guys really want to provide extra support, I really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe to the AVAULT channel, because that's a way to let me know you guys want some more Speed Duel content right there. So once again, thank you guys to those who are already supporting the channel in many different ways. I really appreciate it. We're getting closer and closer to even more subscribers. That's really great. We're hitting those goals. Really appreciate your support. You know, can't thank you guys so much ever enough, honestly, and I really appreciate it. That's all I can really say. So once again, quick shout out, if you guys want to check out the eBay AVAULT eBay store for some card sleeves, be sure to check that out. We really appreciate that as well. You know, get some exclusive card sleeves that you just can't get here in North America or for the TCG, which is really cool. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, you guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are. And this is AVAULT signing out.